The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature. The Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu. Today's conversation is easy. I'm teaching you how to deal with people on the level that they're on. Stick around, let's discuss it. Hello, hello, hello. You are in the right place. You are listening to the Manifest on Purpose show. I am your host, Kimbaley. My purpose is to help guide you to your highest self. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Thank you for all of those you've invited. I appreciate it. And thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. The God in me loves the God in you. Before we jump into this juicy topic of discussion today, please stick around for a brief message from our sponsor. I never make plans without checking my Star 8 mobile numerology app first. Thanks to its amazing calendar feature, it allows me to always be in the right place at the right time. But don't take my word for it. Download the Star 8 mobile numerology app by Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn. You can find it on the App Store, Google Play, or by going to a star 8 ASTAR, the number 8.com, or linktree/numbers in you. Now back to the show. Have you ever taken time to think about how boring life would be if everybody was on the same level? Now, when I'm talking about levels, I'm talking about levels of consciousness. Of course, we're all one on the universal scale of things. However, we're not on the same level. In a recent discussion with one of my best friends and teachers, a similar topic came up. This question came up to me. What happens when you meet or are engaged with a person or a group of people that seem to have a similar purpose as yours, but somehow it just does not completely align with your purpose? Things are different. You've seen this before. You've seen people that want growth in their life in one way, and you maybe wanting growth in your life in another way. Is it okay to mix and mingle with these people? Is it okay to build relationships with these people? It just so happened that my amazing friend had a profound answer for this. Here's the answer. It's okay to be traveling in the same direction with others. You just have to know when to get off. That hit me kind of hard. That was deep. I had to think about that for a moment. I asked for clarity. It was then explained to me in a way that I could understand. I was told, think about being on a train. There's plenty of people, going in the same direction, but not everybody will be getting off at the same stop. You have to know which stop you need to get off on. This piece to the puzzle brought things into perspective for me. It is my hopes that by the end of this conversation, you will be able to determine what level you're on, and you will be able to determine when you should get off. It also reminded me of something that I thought was long forgotten. It was time that I forgot to get off. It was the first day of summer school. The first day was always a little scary because you had a new bus driver and you did not know the order that the bus trip would go in. So you had to pay close attention to determine where your stop was on the bus. Well, anyway, on that first day summer school bus trip, it was exciting for me because I found out that my friend Kim was also in summer school and she was also riding the same bus I was riding on, even though we stayed over 20 miles apart. Kim and I could talk when we got together. So when I got on that bus that afternoon on that trip home, Kim and I talked the entire trip. I began to panic when I looked up for a quick breath and found that Kim and I were the last two people on the bus. I thought to myself, oh no, I missed my stop. I let Kim know so that the conversation would end. She told me, go up to the front and let the bus driver know that you missed your stop to see if we've already passed it or not. I got to the front of the bus as fast as I could and I gave the bus driver my address and told her I needed to know if she had passed that stop yet. And of course, she said yes. My heart sank. I went back to Kim and she was preparing to get off at her stop. And she said something really nice. She said, don't worry, come home with me. I'll talk it over with my mom. Everything will be fine. Well, mom met us at the bus. And mom told me, sure, come on, I understand. Everybody knew each other in the community. She knew my grandmother by first name. And she said, oh, I know she's worried about you. Let me give her a call. And then let me take care of some things around here and I'll take you home. Of course, I was relieved about the fact that I had a way home, but it didn't go quite as planned. It was just minor things, but Kim's family did things differently at home than we did. All I could think about was, I'll be so glad to get back home. And guess what? Kim's mom took her time getting me back there, too. I was so happy when that moment finally came. So much so that I didn't even talk to Kim on the way back home. I guess we did too much talking on the bus. That's why I missed my stop. We both had the same intentions. We both wanted to get home. But the problem was we allowed each other to become a distraction. More like I allow her to become a distraction. That's how I missed the stop. To make this completely personal, it happens this way too in our growth in the levels of spiritual development. Do you know what level you're on? Do you know which level of consciousness you are in at this very moment? Today, I'm going to help you figure that out because I'm going to detail the levels of spiritual development or the levels of consciousness as described by Dr. Michael Beckwith. There's 4 stages of consciousness here, and I want you to listen to these stages and the descriptions to see if that's the stage you fit into in your life right now. In order to know where you need to get off, you have to know where you are. Are you in the blame state of consciousness? The people in this state feel that everything is happening to them. Have you ever noticed one of those people that feels like it's just them against the world? Or more so, the world against them? They feel as if everything that happens in their life is because something or someone is doing it to them. That's the main reason why it's called the blame state. Here are a few clues to let you know that you are in the blame stage of spiritual development. Number one is that you feel and act as if you can do no wrong. Number two is if you feel and act that the whole world is against you. And number three, you feel as if no matter what you do, things will never get better for you. These are clues that you are in the blame stage of spiritual development. I often find that there are a lot of people that are stuck in this stage, but you don't have to be. There is a way out of this stage to move on to the next stage. In order to get off on this stop, the key is simple. Release blame and take responsibility for your life. That leads us to the next stage of spiritual development. That is the manifestation consciousness stage. In this stage, you feel that life is happening by you. You feel like you're the creator of your life, and that's what we talk about a lot on the Manifest on Purpose show. That is a stage of spiritual development. Whenever you can open up and see that a lot of what happens, it happens through you. But even this stage is temporary. You're not meant to stay here for long. And I know that you don't want to hear that because there are a lot of people in the manifestation stage. It's not that this is a bad stage in your life or that any of these stages are right or wrong. It's just that you have to know and understand that even in these stages, there's room for growth. And I know you hear me talk about that all the time. Growth should be continuous in your life. So once you get on that manifestor consciousness stage, that's a stop that at some point you're going to have to get off of it too. And here's why. If you're not careful in this stage, it can open up the door and allow ego to become overinflated. In this stage, you must center yourself and you have to realize that yes, you are the creator in your life. But the missing link in this stage is that you have help. You're not doing this all alone. Once you discover this, it lets you know that it's another stop you have to get off on. You have to get off on the manifestor stop in order to get on to stage 3. Stage 3 is that life is happening through you. It takes the ego out. It's saying that I'm not the only one that's making this happen. I'm on a team. And I think it's important for you to note that everything you learn at one stage, when you grow into the next stage, you take those things with you. So in the last stage, you found out that yes, you do have success in creating and living the life you want, and that you are a powerful manifester. But now you're at the point where you're able to let go and let God. That's another part of manifestation that we're going to talk about, because a lot of people feel that during those times that they feel barren in their life, things are going wrong for you. No, it's not. It's time for you to let go and let God. It's letting you know in this stage, you do have the power to manifest those things, but really, it's the God in you that makes it all happen. It is really in this stage when you become an instrument of the Creator. Now, I know that that third stage seems to be pretty high up the level, but we still have one more stage to go. Before you get off at this stop, there's something you have to discover. What you have to discover is that there's a separation here. You have separated yourself from the Creator. Once you get over that, it's time to get off on that stop, and we're going to get to the last stage of spiritual development. This is my favorite stage, and personally, this is the stage I aspire to be in. The stage is called One Consciousness. I feel that this is the stage of your higher self. This stage says, life is happening as me. I also consider this stage to be the stage that they call enlightenment. I feel that some people call this stage nirvana. Some people call it the Christ consciousness stage. This is the highest state of awareness that you can be in. This stage is about wholeness. This stage is when you let go of the feeling that you're separated from the Creator. You acknowledge that the two of you are one. Life happens as you. This means that you embody the truth. You don't just perceive it. This is being united with your higher self. This is the only way that you can experience non-duality. This stage lets us know the truth about ourselves. We are really all one. The difference here is that not everybody's purpose is the same. You may be going in the direction of growth. Somebody else may be going in the direction of growth. But that does not necessarily mean that everything aligns with each other. That's why it's important to know what stop you get off on. Just in case you feel that you have experienced one of each of these or several of these stages at one time, I want to let you know that it's not just like a ladder where you just ascend up. You can go in and out of either of these stages at any time in your life. Sometimes it's a matter of what you're going through or what you're experiencing in the time. Sometimes it's simply the influence of others that will cause you to miss your stop. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. Let me tell you something that I know you know. There's some people out there that feel like they can always tell you what's best for your life. They can always tell you what stop you need to go off on. But it's important that you don't get distracted. Just like Kim, my old friend. I love to talk to her, and we had a ball talking that day when I missed my stop. The real problem was we were on two different levels. Kim was paying attention to where she was going. She made it home with no problem. I allowed myself to become distracted, and as a result, I had to find a ride back home. That was a hard pill for me to swallow, but I knew from then on out. What's your level of consciousness? What level of spiritual development are you in? Are you in the blame stage where you feel like everything is happening to you? Or are you in the manifestation stage where you feel like everything is happening by you? Are you an instrument for the Creator? Or perhaps you've reached that highest stage. You've met your highest self. You are in the one consciousness stage. Now that you know which stage you're in, what is it going to take for you to get to the next level? If I would have you take away anything from this discussion today, it would be don't allow anyone else to make you miss your stop. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.